Hi, my name is Chris Matthews and I'm your relationship coach and licensed marriage and family therapist. In this video, I'm going to discuss why money matters in relationships and how do you protect yourself by building a relationship that has a strong financial foundation. I'm really glad you guys tuned into this video because a lot of clients who are thinking about therapy, a lot of couples who look at the areas of their relationship that need the most help tend to say they have problems around money management. Couples don't necessarily have a problem with money. The problem tends to lie in their viewpoint or perspective on how money's earned, how money is spent, how to use credit and debt, and how to save money. So those are going to be the four things that I tackle in this video. I'm then going to end the video by talking about three different platforms or approaches that couples can take to managing money together and developing a joint financial plan. Let's start with one of the most important ingredients that couples tend to fight about or have issues with when they talk about money. Earning potential. So earning potential is your ability to generate revenue for yourself and your family. Typically, in our country, I'm out of America, United States, most people go look for a job. So they go find a job. A job usually is going to be the sale of a product or service, and a company or a contractor or a person is going to hire you to sell their product or their service. When you have a job, typically there's a description and there's an amount paid per hour or amount paid per widget or percentages based on the industry you're in. If you're at a job and you've already kind of capped out on how much they're going to pay you, the only other alternative at that point is to get another job, or you can do what I did, create a business where you can actually control your revenue based on the quality of the work or service you provide. So earning potential is going to be where a lot of couples fight because they want more income. Everybody wants more money, but they may not be willing to do what it takes to earn more money. That could look like going back to get a higher degree or education level. It could look like learning a new skill, or it could also look like developing a product that you could sell as well. So I tell couples in therapy, start with asking yourself, how much money do you need to make or want to make, and what's required to get that number met? When I first graduated with my bachelor's degree, I went into the field of public health. I love public health. I was an educator. I went around talking to students at schools around about alcohol and drug prevention and STD, HIV prevention. Well, I only got paid $30,000 a year. And I went home to my wife and she's like, look, there are a lot of things we want to do, but we can't afford them. So I had to say, okay, I need to figure out a way to increase my earning potential. So I went back to school, got a master's degree. My income rose, but it was only like $45,000, $50,000 a year. So then I said, okay, I need to do more. So couples may argue because they're not taking the time to establish a plan to increase earning potential, the amount of money they're bringing into their household. Next, credits and debts. There are a lot of different perspectives on how to use credit and how to use debt. One of the things I like to look at when I ask couples to process their credits and debts, what makes you feel secure? What makes you feel comfortable? Some people out there may have thousands of dollars of student loans, don't miss any sleep at night. Other people might say, you know what? I can't go back to school unless I have the ability to pay it all off. So that's a preference or a choice. Some people don't want to have a mortgage. They want to, pay the house off quickly. Other people could care less about having a mortgage. So a lot of that's really an opinion or an attitude. And that attitude and opinion tends to usually stem from your family of origin, how your mother, your father, your caretakers use money. So my parents they weren't that great with money. My parents are in their late to mid 60s right now, and they worked really good professions for several years, but still owe on mortgages, car payments. They've never not had debt, but they're happy. So it's a personal preference. Now, me on the other hand, I don't like owing anybody anything. So having that dialogue with your partner about how to use credit and how to use debt is a real personal preference. When it becomes conflictual, it's really just a crossroads or an intersection of attitudes and opinions. Next, spending. This is the most important one. How you choose to find or see value in products and services tend to correlate with what you buy and what you spend. Personal preference. Once again, some people may desire to spend money on objects or items. Others, like myself included, might choose to spend more money on experiences. My wife and I talk about this in my book, we made a choice at the beginning of our marriage to look at spending money on experiences. Why? Because we believe that when you're no longer here, you're no longer here, and you can't take things with you. So life, in our opinion, is more of about a journey, and we want to enjoy the journey. I use the analogy often. Life is like going to an amusement park. When you go to that amusement park, you know there's an opening time and you know there's a closing time. So if you go through those gates and you're at the park, I believe it should be your objective to ride all the rides you want to ride, taste all the foods you want to taste, visit all the shows and booths you want to visit, and see all the things you want to see, because at some point, that amusement park is going to close. Well, that's like life. At some point, you won't be here anymore on this planet. So why not use your money and time to enjoy all the things you want to enjoy before you're no longer here? My wife and I take that perspective. So we spend most of our money that we can on travel, on going out to dining experiences and restaurants. We also spend it on investing in our children, tutoring services, extracurricular activities, investing in things that allow us to enjoy the time we have here on this planet. The same way when you go to that amusement park, the only difference is with the park, you know your closing time. In life, you don't know the closing time. So money, in our opinion, as a couple, should be spent to enjoy the time we have here. Last but not least, savings. Savings is important when you have an intentionality behind it. If you want to save money for your kids' college to get them ahead in life so when they graduate and start a profession, they don't have debt, great. If you want to save money for a down payment on a home so you can have a lower payment or don't have to worry about mortgage insurance, awesome. If you want to save money for a vacation that you can go on and have paid off before the vacation starts, great. If you want to save money so you can retire or go into a different profession of your choice and do what you want to do without having to work just solely for the ability to make money, awesome. I just mentioned ways that people save or why people save, but it has intentionality behind it. Saving just to save is really just being a hoarder of money. One of the things I wrote about in my book, I quoted, money should be used as a tool to explore life, not as a measuring tool to determine how successful you were in life. So savings is great when you have intention behind it, but to be saving for the heck of it makes no point because you can't take it with you. So those are the 4 different areas that I see that couples, battle or struggle with money. Now I'm going to go into 3 different models that couples can use to help develop joint decisions or produce joint decisions around their money. The first model, and I'm going to use business analogies here for a second. So usually companies have a delegated CFO, which is a chief financial officer. That CFO may be the director or responsible for how money is spent, how things are paid out. And usually in a relationship, you may have one partner that has a higher expertise. That partner could have a degree in accounting or business or just be better off when it comes to making decisions around money. So some couples may say, hey, you're the CFO. You delegate or regulate all the spending, and we'll trust your decision making. That model is very healthy when both partners are on board. Now, if you have one partner that's just going to claim themselves as the CFO, that could be, conflictual, right? Because the partner didn't have the buy-in of their spouse to make that decision. I like that model, but it may not be right for every couple. Some couples desire independent control over their own money. So that the second model would be operating as independent contractors. Operating as independent contractors could be a couple who delegate responsibilities that need to be paid. So for example, you cover mortgage, I cover daycare, you cover internet, I cover the lights. We both do 50-50 on outside dining. We do 50-50 on groceries. So really working with your partner to divvy up the expenses. And then you just individually pay them. And that way you're still not having to combine finances, but there's an equality and there's fairness. Because when you establish a relationship with a partner, you should get more out of the relationship than you got just by yourself. So that's the point of a relationship. What are you getting, right? What's developed with us being together that wouldn't be developed if we were apart? So the operating as independent contractors can be a helpful model for people that just don't want to blend finances, but want to come together as a unit. Last but not least, the equally shared fund. This is one of my favorite models. I know I have a bias because, I use this model myself. My wife and I have a joint account. We put all the money in that one account for bills, mortgage, all the things we want to do. We then have separate accounts that we delegate an allowance to. So to recap, we both get paid. All the money goes in one account. We then delegate an amount out of that shared account that goes into our individual accounts so we can do things independently. So that way we don't have to worry about bills. We don't have to worry about things of that nature getting covered because it's all in one account. But I might want to surprise her with something. She may want to buy a gift for a friend or a parent or someone and doesn't want to have to feel like she's asking my permission. That's why we have the separate accounts. But the allowance amount allows us to always ensure the bulk of the money is being put together so our bills of necessity are always paid. So in this video, I went over 4 different factors that can lead couples to counseling pertaining to money. Earning potential, credits and debts, spending, and savings. I also then led you guys down a path of 3 different models. All this information is better explained and outlined in my book, Finding Your Relationship Fixed, the 4 Reasons Couples Seek Counseling. I'll also have some links below for you to follow as well. And do check out our website, Relationship Counseling Tools. The safety workbook goes over a lot of the material I covered today as well. I'll also be doing more videos, so do subscribe to the channel. And once again, my name is Chris Matthews, your relationship coach and licensed marriage and family therapist. Oh, you can never go back. I gotta take